Adora was looking out the bus window at the busy streets of Lagos. She had just graduated from the University of Lagos and was going home to Enugu for the first time in 4 years. Her best friends, Chidi, Kachi, and Nneka, were riding with her. "Can you believe we have finally finished school?" Kachi said excitedly. "We must celebrate." "You read my mind," Chidi replied with a big grin. "As soon as we get to Enugu, we're going to the club to dance. I could also use a night of fun dancing." Nneka agreed. "Maybe we'll even see some cute boys." Adora smiled a little, feeling uneasy. "You know I don't like the clubs. I just want to go home and see my family." "Don't be a joy killer, Adora," Chidi teased. "Don't worry so much. What could possibly go wrong?" Little did they know, those words would come back to haunt them in a scary way. The 4 friends didn't waste any time getting dressed up for a night out once they arrived in Enugu. Even though she was feeling anxious, Adora agreed to join her friends at the popular club, Spice Cantina. The music was loud when they entered, and the dance floor was full of people dancing. Kachi immediately pulled them towards the center. "Let's play a game!" he shouted over the noise with a mischievous grin. "Truth or dare?" "Are you serious?" Adora laughed. "That's a kid's game." "Oh, I can make it a grown-up game," Kachi said with a wink. "Who wants to go first?" Caught up in the fun, Nneka raised her hand. "Dare! Give me your best one." Kachi's eyes twinkled. "I dare you to go give that big security guard a lap dance." Nneka's mouth opened wide in surprise, but she bravely drank something strong and went to the big security man. The game had started. The dares got crazier quickly. Chidi was told to take off his clothes until he was just in his underwear and then dance across the dance floor like a worm. Kachi had to go into the bathroom and loudly tell the next person who came out that he loved them. Everyone laughed a lot at each silly thing they did. When it was Adora's turn, she chose truth rather than risk embarrassment. "If you could sleep with any celebrity, who would it be?" Nneka asked with a mischievous grin. Adora felt her face get hot as the others teased her. I guess Davido," she finally said in a small voice. "Not bad, not bad." Chidi nodded in approval. "Though I would have chosen someone like—" He was cut off as the big security guard Nneka had danced for put his hand on Adora's shoulder. He looked very angry. "You girls need to leave. Now." The security guard firmly made them leave the Spice Cantina Club, but the group just laughed loudly. "I can't believe you actually gave him a lap dance," Adora laughed, gently punching Nneka's arm. "Please, that was easy, compared to some of the other dares tonight," Nneka answered with a playful smile. "Like a certain someone having to strip down to their underwear on the dance floor." Chidi puffed out his chest proudly. "What did you expect? These abs were meant to be appreciated." They all laughed again, not noticing the strange man who had started following them from the shadows. He watched them intently, an unsettling smile on his face. "Don't stop, my friends," he muttered in a heavy accent. "This game has only just begun." As the noisy group walked down the street looking for another club, Adora felt like someone was watching her. She kept looking behind her, feeling uneasy again. "What's wrong?" Chidi asked, putting his arm around her shoulders. "Don't tell me you're getting paranoid again." "I don't know." Adora bit her lip. "I just can't shake the feeling that we're being followed." "Maybe it's a secret admirer," Kachi joked. "Did you flirt with someone at the club? Don't leave me hanging." A strange noise made Adora turn around. Down the dark alley, a hunched, shuffling figure slowly emerged. As it stepped into the light, she caught a glimpse of a twisted, inhuman face, and she screamed, "What the ah!" Chidi turned to look and promptly soiled himself. Nneka grabbed Adora's arm tightly, her eyes wide with terror. "Run! Run! Now!" They ran for what felt like miles, not stopping until they reached the familiar area of Enugu University town. Nneka's family owned a big house on the outskirts. They pounded on the door until it was wrenched open. "Who is there at this late hour?" Nneka's father boomed, before seeing their terrified faces. "What's going on? Why are you frightened?" Gasping for air, Nneka said, "We were being chased by some kind of monster." Nneka's father frowned and exchanged a worried look with his wife. "Come in, everyone. You're safe here," he said, guiding them into the large house. "But you need to explain everything." "I knew this stupid game of truth or dare was a mistake," Adora burst out on the verge of tears. "I had such a bad feeling." "Truth or dare?" Chief Barnabas Dimmó sighed heavily. "This is no game you're playing, Adora. It is far, far more dangerous than you know." As the frightened students tried to catch their breath, Chief Barnabas Dimmó fixed them with an intense stare. "Tell me, has anyone played this game with you without your knowledge? Did a stranger approach you at all before the start of the festivities?" The friends exchanged confused looks. Chidi started to scoff, but Adora said slowly, "Actually, yes, I think so." She shivered. "When we left the club, a man muttered something strange about the game only just beginning." Chief Barnabas Dimmó's expression turned grave. "I feared it would come to this." He sat down heavily across from them. "Many years ago I came across an ancient manuscript describing an evil, unbreakable curse tied to this very game of truth or dare. If not stopped immediately, it means almost certain death for those involved." The friends gaped at one another in horror. "But that's insane!" Chidi sputtered. "Truth or dare is just a dumb party game. How could it be cursed?" Chief Barnabas Dimmó shook his head solemnly. "You youths today have no respect for ancient traditions or the spirit world. Certain rituals, if improperly performed or trifled with by the wrong people, can have severe consequences." "So what you're saying," Nneka asked shakily, "is that when we were playing Truth or Dare at the club tonight, you likely opened the door to something darker and more sinister than you could ever imagine?" Her father finished gravely. "As impossible as it sounds, it is the only explanation for the pursuer Adora described." A heavy silence hung over the group as the implications sank in. Then Kachi spoke up, his voice small and frightened. "Well, how do we stop it?" Chief Barnabas Dimmó sighed. "That is where the true danger lies. The curse's conditions are unbreakable." "What do you mean, unbreakable?" Adora cried out. "There has to be some way to end this." Chief Barnabas Dimmó took a deep breath before continuing. "The curse works like this. Once activated through an improper game of truth or dare, you become trapped in a continuous cycle. At any moment, any of you could be compelled to issue a terrifying dare, one that, if refused, leads to horrible supernatural punishment." "Like that thing chasing us?" Nneka whispered. He nodded grimly. "Mere glimpses of the evil force you'll be dealing with if you attempt to defy the curse. The dares will grow increasingly twisted and dangerous until eventually..." He trailed off, not needing to say more. "So we just have to do every dare no matter what?" Chidi's eyes were wide with horror. "But that's insane. What if one of us gets dared to, murder someone?" "Then you will have to choose," Chief Barnabas Dimmó said solemnly. between your life or your soul. The weight of his words hung sickly in the air. "This has to be some kind of joke," Kachi said weakly. "You're just messing with us, right, Chief Barnabas Dimmó?" But the stern look on the older man's face said otherwise. "I wish I were, my son. But evil forces are at work here, forces I've spent my life studying and guarding against. So there's really no way out?" Adora felt tears prickling her eyes. Of course she had invited this upon them with her superstitious worries. "We just have to do whatever horrible dares this curse demands until the cycle is finally broken," Chief Barnabas Dimmó replied gravely. "When the last person remaining either completes the final dare or suffers their final punishment, the curse will be lifted." A heavy silence filled the room as the friends digested this grim information. Finally, Nneka spoke up. "So what now? We can't just sit around waiting for these dares to start." Chief Barnabas Dimmó looked at each of them intently. "Now, you steel yourselves, because from this point on, your lives will depend on your obedience." Sure enough, within an hour of Chief Barnabas Dimmó's dire warning, Chidi suddenly went rigid, his eyes glazing over unnaturally. "Chidi, hello, you okay, man?" Kachi waved a hand in front of his face. Then Chidi's mouth opened, and a guttural, multi-toned voice issued forth. "Truth or dare?" The others exchanged terrified glances. Chidi was clearly not in control of himself any longer. Chief Barnabas Dimmó nodded solemnly. Taking a deep, steadying breath, Nneka replied in a trembling voice. "Truth?" An unsettling grin twisted Chidi's face. "Tell me, which of your loved ones would you sacrifice to the beast behind the door?" Nneka recoiled in horror, clapping her hands over her mouth as Kachi and Adora gaped in shock. Chief Barnabas Dimmó closed his eyes wearily. "The curse has begun," he intoned. "There is no turning back now."